Hi, this is a Visual Basic Cafe Management System developed in Visual Studio 2015. So let me show you guys how it works. Here I have checkbox. When I click on that checkbox, it enables the text box over there. Okay, so the same thing applies to the cakes. Does enable it. Anyone you click on, it will enable it. Over here I have different types of coffee, and here I have different types of cakes. Here that will total up the drinks, while this total up the cakes, and here's just the service charge. Here we have the tax, subtotal, and total. So let's click a couple more. Alright, so next thing I'll do is to click on total. That's the total. And if you want a receipt, you can always click on receipt. You can print out your receipt if you want, and that's your receipt. I'm not going to print it at this time. Okay, that's the receipt right there. You can choose to save your receipt. So let's just give it a name. We call it Q80. Alright, it's a text box. Save as a text file, and we can always reset, okay, or maybe open up the saved file right there. That's the saved file. We can exit, and you can do whatever you like with it. So what I would do now is to take you guys straight into Visual Basic development environment, and we'll put one of these together and you guys see how it's done. So let's go into Visual Studio 2015 and get another one started. Okay, now we start a new cafe management system. So I'm just going to call it VB_cafe, maybe system. There, click on OK, and there we go. Now we have the form open. So what I'll do next is come to the size right there and just change it to 1368 by 730. So that is the size. The next thing I'll do is where it says start position, I'm just going to change that to center, and I will also change the back color, change that to black or something dark. So that's fine. The next thing I'll do is to get some component on board. Let's go for panel. Yeah, that's fine. Place a panel there. You can't see the color of that panel, so let me come back here and just change the color of that panel to control. Control is the default color, so that is that changed. I will now copy or make about 6 of those. So I think I will need, yeah, that's fine. Alright, so I will now speed up the design of this interface, then we'll take it from there, guys. Okay guys, this is how the interface is looking right now. Okay, so I would then add as follows. Let's add some buttons here, 4 actually. Okay, now let's get tab control. Alright, then we need checkbox. We're gonna need a couple of those, 1 to 8 of those really, and we also need text box. Alright, select all of those and just copy it across there. Okay, the next thing is let's get a label in place. One label here, so we're gonna need 4 labels in here. Right, I have all my labels in place. These 2 labels, I will then increase their size. Let's increase the size of those 2 labels to maybe 60. So we'll make that 60 bold. This very label here will be known as, let's delete this one, make this here. So we change this to Cafe Management System. So we'll have Cafe Management System, make that uppercase C right there. So what I'll do now is just to speed up the design of the interface, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, this is how the interface is looking now. Let me just show it to you guys. Right, so if I click on all these buttons, nothing is happening, and nothing happens here as well. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is to maybe double click on the exit button here. Let's take care of that first. That's easy. Alright, let's do that. Let's try again. There, just enter application dot exit. There, that's that done. Okay, now come in here. Let's double click on the form itself and disables as follows actually. So the txt africa dot text, make that 0. So I will repeat exactly the same thing for the rest text box. Okay, I will just speed that up now. There. Okay, I've repeated exactly the same thing for the other text box, and at the same time I disabled all of the text box are disabled. Then the checkbox, I also disabled every single checkbox. Now there's one thing missing there. Let's come in here, and our RichTextBox, let's just say clear if there's anything in it, so we just clear that. So that's it, all done. Okay, let me copy all of these lines of codes, copy and come to where it says reset right there and just paste that in there. Okay, so it's exactly the same lines of code, so that's fine. Now I'll go back to the form load, because I'm going to be using these two, this label right here and this other label right there. I'll be using those as my date and time. So in here, let's go for LBL date dot text equals date time dot now. Okay, that's the method we're calling, dot to long dates right there. Can you guys see that? Double click on that, so that will give me the date. So if I run the system now, you'll see the date right away. Let's run it so now you see the date right there, guys. That's the date. Okay, the same lines of code, I will use that to generate the time. So let's come in here, a timer, generate my time there. So these are the object that I embedded as well. Okay, these two stripped, the two strip is right here, and open dialog, file, save the dialog, and print document. I have those ones in place. Okay, so this very timer, so what I will do for on the form is double click on the form itself, and right there just enter timer1 dot start there. So copy these lines of code and change that to my timer. Now let's go into the timer right here. Double click on the timer and just paste that in there. Change this to LBL timer, the component that is called LBL timer, and just change this to this method. Let's modify that to time. Get rid of the W there. Okay, that's it right there actually. Okay, that's the method for time. So there. So if I run it now, you get the time there, you get the date here, and all of these components are disabled and these are unchecked. Only if I check it, if I check any of this checkbox, what I want is for the checkbox to enable this text box, and the same thing applies here. So let's come in here and start with that. Okay, come back in here, see right there, double click on that and just enter as follows: if chkicafé dot checked right there equals true, then what I want is textbox ice cafe dot enable equals true. Okay, so anytime I click on that, it will enable the text box. Let me show it to you guys. I click on it, text box enable. Supposing if I uncheck it, I would like it to disable it, so I'm just going to copy this. You can also use else if. Okay, just paste that in there. If it's false, then that becomes false, and this one also becomes false. Okay, so I'm going to be using traditional programming method throughout in this very tutorial, so none of the object oriented. So you can always look forward to the object oriented in other tutorial that I'll be making as time goes on. Okay, so that is that. So if I run it now, check this out. You see that? Undo, check. So if I click on this, I expect this to disappear as well. So let's come in there, select that particular object and go to the property, select event right there, and come to the click event, double click on the click event, and there we go. So I want this to clear and click dot text equals clear, and I also would like it to focus. Okay, so when I run it, what will happen is it will clear whatever is in there, and the focus will be on that particular object. So click on this, click there, it's gone, and you can see the cursor right there. Okay, so the same thing will be repeated for this other component here and these ones right here as well. So for the other one, let me just copy this, copy, and come to the American coffee, paste that in there, and just change the name to American. I think this would be TXT American. That makes life easy typing it out. Okay, American, and this one is CHK American. TXT American. So I've got two sorted. So if I run it again, click. Okay, so this one, there's code in there, there's no code in it. So let's go back into the text box and come to that property or the event, double click on the event, and right there just enter as follows: dot text equals clear, and that's dot set focus. That's it, done. So what I'll do now is just to speed it up and get back to you guys. Okay, I've finished the coding, and there they are. Let me just show it to you guys. Let's take it from the top. That's the form load, and that's for the reset. The form load and the reset are the same lines of codes. Now that is for the timer that activates the time, and here that is to disable the text, to enable the text box, and here is the line of code that will disable if it's not enabled. The text box becomes disabled. Okay, and that's what happened to that text box. The content is cleared and focus is set on that text box. The same thing was repeated for this other checkbox right there. It's the same lines of code. It's all traditional programming methods. Okay, have a good look at it. And then, so I will now run the system. Let's run it because it's all the same lines of codes. You can just copy and paste once you've implemented one. So click on that, you can see it's all enabled. The text box are now enabled. Okay, if you uncheck any of these text box, what happens is it becomes disabled, and when you click on them, the data in there, it disappears, and you can enter your own data and then click on total. That's supposed to be what should happen, but right now The total is not working, receipt is not working, reset is the only one that works. So we take care of, let's take care of this receipt first. Okay, let's double click on the receipt button itself and just take care of that. So we start by saying rt dot clear. Okay, so that is it. Then we also say, let's go for rtf receipt dot append. Dot append means add the following data. Okay, I want it to, let's tab first. Tab, let's add about 3 of those tabs in there. Okay, then the name of the cafe will be just do cafe. Yeah, just do coffee instead of getting drunk. Okay, now come in here, add that, and let's enter a new line. Let's go for environment dot new line. Okay, that will give us a new line. See, that's how you enter data. The next thing is to just enter data and populate the receipt itself. So right there is the rest of the code for the receipt. So let me just show it to you guys. That is it. Okay, from here and take it down. Right, so if I run it, okay, so let's click on that and enter value in there. Click on the other ones and just enter whatever in there for now. The total button is not working yet because we haven't entered any lines of code in there. Okay, just click on receipt. Right there, that's the receipt. That's how it's working. So it looks very beautiful. So with this, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of the very first part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the second part.